Okay, so we're here with the 10 horsepower, what did I say, 70 something? 1601 models, oh no, 1001, 1001B. Check the year in a second, I'll do it right now. Oh, okay, 59. Didn't realize this also has the pressure tank set up. I don't know how I really feel about that. I have I'm knee deep in projects right now, working on the 30 horse, but waiting for parts. There's the lower unit together. So I didn't want to start too many projects because then they never get finished. But I want to get these videos out to you guys. So I want to try to video what I can when I can, and put everything in one motor video. What we may end up doing is just doing series, just so that I can keep constant uploads. So you guys tell me what you'd prefer. One 20-minute video on the whole motor, which it's probably like 4 hours of footage I condense into 20 minutes. It's really not that hard. 9 times out of 10, I'm looking for tools. Or I can do segments. You know, I can do 50. I want to keep the videos to 15 to 20 minutes. And I can do 20-minute segments on what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and then the progress as it goes on. I don't know. You guys tell me. Let me know. Comment below. In the meantime, I did want to get some work done. This was the motor that I was talking about. It's super clean. Probably string in the same video, so it's going to not make sense to be like, I was talking about it. You just talked about it 2 seconds ago. Anyway, so it's a 10 horse. Just found out it's a 59. Super clean. We do have some... Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. So the paint is all on the block, but you can see right where the seal is. Some corrosion, flaky paint. So most likely this overheated on the water, and then the guy probably got pissed, stopped using it, put it away, meant to fix it, never got around to it. If you take a look at the body, this body, sexy body, clean, just clean. So even though it may have been treated like most of the other outboards I get, this one most likely was stored indoors. So we finally have an actual motor that was stored indoors. Guy was super nice. Like this thing's, the paint is just very, like I said, just clean. It spins like a top. Obviously has not been sitting outside collecting saltwater dust for years. And very little discoloration on the other side. Very, very clean motor. We're going to take her apart. We're going to get her going. It looks like it's got that goopy, greasy old stuff around the carburetor here. Nothing that can't be cleaned up. I'll assume there's some straight varnish on the inside of it. And that's it. So let's, I guess first things first, we could test for spark. I have a, what do I have? I have a light. I have a test light. I see a lot of other guys have that. Now, theoretically, what we could do is we could pull the flywheel and just pop the cover and just see how the coils are. We'll assume the coils are bad. But when you take the plugs out, we can do spark and compression. So these plugs look just good. Oh, this one's dirty. This one's dirty. Some decent carbon on the things. They smell like fuel. They smell like gas, so that's a good thing. Gap to 30. Just stick the 30 in there. Pull it out. Oh, that one was already gapped. And before we put them in the hole, obviously. Hopefully that's the right order. Oh, there, bottom's good spark. That's good. Most likely the coils could be good. We'll take a look. 9 times out of 10, it's the coils. But that one time, it's usually just dirty points. I got spark on one. I'm going to assume the coils are good. And then we'll adjust those points if the coils are good and run with those. It'd be nice if I could save the money on not getting new coils. The prices did go up a little bit. I get them about $25 a piece. I could go as low as $18, but I don't like those. So I buy the $25 ones. And then we're going to give her the old compression check. Top cylinder. Scared already. Okay. Alright, that's not bad. I get scared when it's this low, but again, a 59 motor. Low is not bad, as long as they're equal. And this one's showing about 80. So, 80 top cylinder. A lot of these times, these pull starts just need some, their grease turns into glue. So we'll have the WD this up. Okay, and without moving it, you guys can see. Again, a solid, that's a solid 80. The other one was 80. The second time I pulled it, I kind of got like a 75. So equal compression, not the best compression, but these older motors tend not to give you on 20s. 90s actually really good. I had a Chrysler that ran on 60s really well. So we're good. We got even compression both cylinders. Seems like my head gasket isn't ruined by whatever overheat had happened. And I don't think I stripped anything, which is always nice. And next step is to check, because we don't have spark in that one cylinder. Actually, we'll leave them out because we're going to have to test for spark again. So we're going to pop this guy off. I'm going to pop this nut off. Check the points in here. You'll know right away. Sometimes cracked coils will spark still. Anytime you pick up these motors, even with spark, at the very least, pop the cover off. See what you're working with the coils, because they're a bad a lot. I get a lot of motors sometimes that have been worked on, so sometimes I get new coils. Not unlikely. Okay, that one's not. Okay, so like I said, a lot of times you'll get spark with bad coils. Okay, and that's a bad coil. The coil itself may not be bad. Whole armature plate's moving. It'll produce spark, but that's not good. See, they're cracked. So these are the original coils to the engine, which is good. That may mean my condensers are pretty good, but we'll replace all of that. So this definitely got to come off no matter what. I never used to take the armature plate off. It just didn't deem necessary. But lately, it's just so much easier to install the new coils. This way the wires can come up through them. That I've just been taking. It's only 2 more bolts. These 2 here, 1 and 2. There's the 2 from the coil itself, and then that guy and that guy. Sometimes they're stars, and that's the 4 that hold this in. So I just pop the coil plate up and the mag plate up, and then you can rip your old coils off. Yeah. Throw them in the garbage. Don't you think about trying to reuse these. Spark or no spark. Don't you dare. Oh, wait, don't throw them in the garbage with the hardware on. New coils don't come with hardware, so. What I like to do is save the bolt and remember which one the ground goes to. It's usually the flatter side. It might not even matter. But in this motor, it had it on so there's 2. There's like an out skirted edge and then a non. And the top goes to the thing there. Pop the screw out. And the mounting screw. Now it's garbage. These are the ones I get off eBay. I get them for $25 a piece. Sometimes they're not made nice. As you can see, it's not like the best, but it's 10 times. They fit. They fit as opposed to the green ones. They're just a rough fit for some reason. And this is the one I was telling you goes to the short side, so that'll go there. This will go to the points. And make sure you save your mounting screws. And that's it. You can just break this away from the wires because it's already cracked anyway, so it'll break into the garbage. The condensers are going to come off. They look good, probably could save them. But with these older motors, a lot of times you get on the water, and if it's not running right, you'll get it at like a high speed. It'll be like a weird lean mist, a weird mist that you can't explain. And a lot of times it could be these condensers, which are pretty well made, but they go. And I don't have the way to test it. I think it's called a Mercatronic or something like that. And it tests the leakage, and if there's a spring in there. Oh, that's a new one. I've never seen a spring. I've never seen that. It's interesting. It's pretty clean though. Very little grease, not overcaked. Look, this is another one of those parts that I've been saving. One day, if I ever get that Tronic tester, maybe I can test all my condensers and find out which ones are good and savable. But to put all this together, only to take it apart again, scares me more than spending the $8 I think they've been. They're about $8 a piece on eBay, these condensers. Some of them are new old stock, some of them are built new. Either one is fine for me. So if these look in good shape, we're going to hold on to those. Getting that bracket tight is important because otherwise the wires will slip out from the coil and then you're going to have another problem. Try not to get my hands dirty. If you're wondering why I'm wearing one glove, Michael Jackson style, it's because I ran out. I have no more gloves. Oop, that's a problem. It's not on the floor. So pit of misery's out. Oop. Armature plate. Well, that's not an armature plate. That's a throttle plate. Best bet is to break these off, but you can see there's the end of the wire here, and I'll end up chopping a tip of the wire anyway. Instead of replacing the whole spark plug wire, that's what I do. You know, assuming the wire looks good, you can test for conductivity with a voltmeter. I just find spark plug wires don't tend to go bad unless the rubber's been sitting. And you'll see cracks in the rubber and stuff wrong. Insulation, that's the word I was trying to think of before. You'll see cracks in insulation, so let's just kind of getting all the crud off there. So there we go. So there's just the end of the boot. It usually just comes off. Yeah, there's a girl. A little rough. And then you can see, you know, it's a little corroded there because it's been old, so I'll just snip the end. Usually with the right snips. I don't have the right one right now. And there we go. Now we got some fresh new copper to screw the new piece into. And that's how I'll work with it. So now I can take my coil, because the armature plate's up, and I can pull the wire through that a little bit, and I can screw it on like this. And then when I screw it on, then I can push the wire to where it belongs, mount everything up, easy peasy. As opposed to trying to get the wire in there and like screw like this, and, or you know, the wire's here, you know, so pulling the armature, pulling this mag plate off just helps. It makes the job 99% better. Take our new coil on. And then they come with this boot here, and you can put that around the wire first, which I didn't do, and I'm not pulling that thing back off, so this one doesn't get a boot. All right, here's your top wire. Get that out from underneath, and then the bottom ground wire is green, the bottom actual point wire. And just kind of hang that over here, and we'll put that in where the bolts are going to go. And it is flush and flat, and we'll take our screws. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snug it down, but I mean not snug, so I don't even know. I still want this to move if possible, because I'm going to make sure that I don't have any clearance issues. And then this one will go, I believe, to that one. Make sure you don't mess these up, because you won't get spark if you do. I've already had that problem once. At this point of the process, I'm going to be gentle with the wires, because I don't want to pull that wire out. I didn't put the bracket back underneath. Okay, so if you didn't put the bracket underneath and you pull this and work it the wrong way, you'll pull the wire out of the coil and then you got to restart. So I wish I could get you back far back. This is as high as my tripod goes. We want to carefully flip the plate back over, and we want to route our wires back to where they were so they don't come out. We just want to route the wires the way they were. Alright, so that's tight. So now I can't pull this wire out, most likely. You could test it. And the other one, so you could still pull the other one out. So you gotta be careful of this one until we get that bracket back in. But the wires look good here. It looks like that plate assembly helps to hold this flat there. So let's put that in. There it goes. Alright, let's get our bracket tight here. Bracket tight low. Pretty sure that's how it goes. Okay, now should have bolt wires hooked in there. That wire shouldn't pull out, and neither should that one. Kill switch wires can be loose because they're just hooked to switch. So I believe that is it. So now we got new wires connected. Good, I don't know how they route. That's okay. And we just slide. Make sure your arm is facing that way so you can rehook it later. And like I said, just slide it back down, and then you got to line up this, and the two we took out, which tends to be pretty easy. Before you do the coils, you just kind of want to make sure that they're flush with your mounting things. And you can see, watch, this will catch. See how it's catching? So that'll hit the flywheel. So before you tighten them down, push them back, and then you can kind of snug them. All right, and then you can throw the flywheel on to see if they hit. I, of course, picked this up off a guy who made it for me. Still my favorite tool. Okay, once your ring fits around it, then you can go ahead and tighten these biatches down. Okay, and once that ring fits around it, you will not have clearance issues. Don't be afraid to force it on. That's when you're pulling it off. Just be gentle with it. Don't rip up on one side. You might scratch the fronts of the coils a little bit. Ain't hurt nothing. That's it. You can see the inside of this has got some scuff marks. That was one of the more harder installations for some reason. Not sure why. No problems, easy peasy. So now that these are tightened down, you can now hook up your leads, kill switch wire, main wire, put that to that. Cleaning and adjusting the points. Let's see if we attach our leads. Make sure nothing's in the way of screws as well as spinning material. I got a screw there I might want to get to one day. Alrighty, we slide our cam lobe gear, open the points up to get it to go in. Oh, there's that spring. Still don't know why they did that. Does it lock into place? Huh. That's a new one. How do you adjust the points with the cam lobe pushing up? Okay, so we're trying to clean and adjust the points here. And this is new to me, but the cam is spring-loaded. The spring is for the seal, which is beneath the mag plate. But what it does is it pushes up on the cam lobe where it pushes past the points. Now, in order to adjust the points, you have to, the wide part of the lobe has to push open the point so you can adjust it. But the spring holds it up. Now, I was told, thanks to another YouTuber, I'm going to link his channel in his description up here now. And thanks to his expertise, I've never seen this before. He said what he does is he puts a pipe over this and pushes down, something that to weigh it down. First, he said if you push it down, sometimes you get lucky and the cam lobe will kind of stick to the thickness of the camshaft, the crankshaft. If that doesn't work, to put a pipe, that's the diameter of the crank, and this just to weigh it down. I don't have that. So if you guys have a pipe, get it wide enough to push this down. And then what you also have to be careful is make sure the points are open before you push it down, because if you don't, even when you put the flywheel on, hold on, oh, that point's open. If you put the flywheel on with the points not open, you're going to crush the rollers. You're going to push the, you're going to crush the rollers with the cam itself. So if you want to adjust the points without a pipe, you're going to have to hold one end, take your feeler gauge, stick it in between the points, see how close you are, and then guesstimate with this, then push down and take your feeler gauge and do it again. So I would suggest, my man's suggesting, get a pipe that's just this, and it's going to have to be tall enough to weigh down the spring. My spring, of course, is, I can't even hold it down with my screwdriver long enough. So that's what you're going to have to do in if you have a spring that pushes up on the cam lobe. In any case, I've already adjusted the points. Now I just got to get my sandpaper in between and clean them up. Okay, so we're try to get the flywheel on with this spring-loaded thing. Just line up the keyways. And don't push down, just line it up. And just make sure the points are open. I just kind of crack it open this way. The screwdriver. Just do the other side. So what we did was we placed the flywheel on, we opened the points a little bit, and we tried to just kind of gently push down on it. So hopefully everything is okay. The main thing is don't slam the flywheel down on, because the points are like this, and the spring is holding the thing up. So if the thing is above the roller, holder, whatever you want to call them, you'll break the points. So if you could just crack them open that little bit and force a little bit, you won't break them. So it seems to me like my flywheel is in place. We're going to throw the nut on it. Not tight. I'm just going to put the nut on so that it doesn't, I guess, so it doesn't come up. I'm not tightening this nut down. I'm just, there we go. That's all I wanted. I want the flywheel to spin. Now that the flywheel is spinning, okay, spinning flywheel. Let's check for spark. There you go. Spark number one's here. That's top, and bottom's down here. Let's see if we get spark. Zero spark. It's cute. It's real cute. Let's take a journey, YouTube. I've never replaced the points before. I never needed to. We're gonna do it today. I don't know if the points are bad. It's the points of the wire, and I'm not getting spark in the cylinder. So we undo the bolt here that holds the points in. Again, I gotta be quiet. Everybody's sleeping. Luckily, this project won't have to wait for points because I got a fresh mag plate ready to go. I was gonna swap the whole plate. It didn't have the right throttle, and it didn't have the accursed kill switch wires, so I'd have to reinstall all of that, and I wasn't in the mood to do it. So I took the points off instead. That seems similar. Little clip there. Pull that off. Set that aside. Leave it. Don't lose it. It's tiny. And then they should slide right up. The old points, that is. Kind of tight in there, so be careful you don't do that. I think I just didn't clean them enough. See the dirt? I can see them with my eyes. It's hard to see with the camera. There you go. See the dirt there? I cleaned them, but obviously not well enough. Set. We're gonna slide it like so. So they just popped off. This slides out. This little clip goes on the inside of the clip there like that. That's what happened. I tried to force it in because I realized these holes gotta line up here like that around this thing. I told you, YouTube, I am learning as I go. And it's tight in there. This isn't fun. There we go. Jeez. Okay, tricky. Tricky little sun gun. Okay, so we don't want to tighten it because obviously we have to adjust it now. They should be gapped based off this guy here. There's only one way to find out. Oof. I've never had a motor that had that spring there, so I don't have a pipe. But when I see a pipe that's going to fit over that, you best believe I'll be picking it up and keeping it for this. Yeah. I mean, the spring is so strong, I can barely hold it with my left hand, being a righty. A lot of times these things need new points. Like, you can change all the ignition systems if you really want to get nuts with it. Depends on what your flipping budget is and everything. I really don't need them. They clean up real good. Usually does the trick. Probably would have did the trick in this case. I just assumed they were clean. Next time I'll know to
clean them suckers like it was my job. Because there was dirt on them. I saw it. You could see the dirt on them after I scrubbed them down good with a sandpaper. So even these ones that I already cleaned from the other motor didn't work out. You can check out my Sea King video motor. It's pretty funny. Broke the block trying to squeeze a drive shaft that didn't fit in it. But I used the points off that. That whole ignition system is new.
Okay guys, that concludes the ignition portion of the video. Long story short is no spark in the one cylinder, no spark in one cylinder. Then I'd have spark in one cylinder and not in the other. Then I'd have one in the other. Then it would flip. Then I'd have no spark in either. Then I'd have spark in one. Then I'd have spark in the one that didn't have spark, and then I wouldn't have spark in the other one. And then I'd have spark. Long story short, I put 2 new wires and I flopped one of the coils. I'm thinking one of the coils I got is no good. So I put a new coil and a new wire into the other one. I have spark in both. I put the plugs in already. We're done. Ignition system's done. New wires, new points. No new points. New wires, new condensers, new coils. I very rarely change the points. I very rarely change the spark plug wires. But in this case, it seems like there's something wrong with both of those wires. I also think something's wrong with my multimeter. We'll get into that in another video. So that concludes the ignition system portion of this video, of this series, the 10 horsepower. We will either do the carburetor next, or we'll post the carburetor first and then do the ignition second, depending on how parts come in for the carburetor. So thank you guys for indulging me as always. This is the 10 horsepower conclusion of the ignition portion of the video of the series. We will see you when we get the carburetor assembled or the motor running in a freaking barrel. Thanks for checking me out, guys. Sub, please up.